Hey tribe, welcome back. Welcome back to Live Life in Your Terms. I'm Chad, by the way, just in case you're new here, or maybe you're just stopping by to check out what's this channel all about. But today I really want you to listen to this because this is something I've kind of been going through recently, and it kind of just dawned on me, and I really just wanted to share it with you guys because I think it's really one of those points that really can really make it and break it for you. And I'm really a true believer. Sometimes I know my videos can be long-winded. Sometimes I over-explain things. But I really firmly believe that the more you understand manifesting, how it works, the more you understand how to live your dream life, how to get this stuff to work for you, the more you understand why you're doing something, you stick to it. You don't throw in the towel. You don't quit so fast. Okay, my friends? And really what I want to share with you is the power of being neutral, my friends. And before you might sit there and think, oh my God, Chad, I don't know if I can sit through this video. I want you to listen to this, okay? The power of being neutral. What do I mean? You see, being neutral is one of those most misunderstood powers of manifestation. It's not about being passive. It's not about being weak. It's not about doing nothing, because that's what a lot of us associate it to. Like when I say be neutral, don't bring emotion to things, people go to the extreme and say, well, Chad, you gotta you gotta uphold your standards. You gotta do this. You gotta try. You gotta take action. You can't just sit there and let money fall on your head. Usually people who say that have not figured out manifesting. They have not figured it out for themselves to get it to work for them. You understand, my friends? Listen, neutral is control without effort. Let me say that one more time. When you're being neutral, it's control without effort. Let's dig a little bit deeper. You see, when you're neutral, you are no longer reacting to things. You are no longer reacting to circumstances you don't like. You are no longer reacting to other people who piss you off. Okay. And listen to this one. Okay. Everything has a polar opposite. You're no longer reacting even to the positive things in your life. It's getting interesting right now, huh? I'm saying some interesting stuff. You see, most people are always reacting. They're reacting to everything. Something happens, they feel good or bad. They chase or resist. They create more of the same loop. Let me repeat that one more time. Listen, something happens to you. Now that makes you either feel good or bad, a good emotion, bad emotion. You either chase or you resist it, and that creates more of the same loop. Isn't that so true? How you're reacting to things is keeping you stuck. It's keeping you in the same loop because you're bringing so much emotion to it. And I won't go down the rabbit hole just yet. Neutral is the moment you stop letting the outside world decide your inner state. You see, when you're neutral, you're not trying to fix anything. You're not fighting. You're not chasing. You're not emotionally grabbing the outcome. And that, my friends, right there is true power. And the power of being neutral, it actually collapses resistance. Isn't that interesting? Being neutral collapses resistance, my friends. You see, manifestation doesn't respond to force. I think we all know that by now. Okay, when you're trying to manifest something, it doesn't respond to force. No matter how you manipulate it, no matter what excuses you give, it doesn't respond to friction. Okay, when you're trying to force things to happen, no matter mental force, physical force, manipulation, okay, it stays away from you. Oh. I mean, it's just like an SP work, okay? When you try to force somebody to like you, well, guess what? They run from you. It's the same thing when you try to force your dream house, force your dream car, force your dream career. Okay, you're looking for the how, you're trying to force things to basically come into your life. Well, all you're doing is repelling everything from you. Listen, any strong emotion that you have, especially fear, urgency, or the need, your neediness, you're trying to figure out the how, all that does is add resistance. And even positive obsession does the same thing. You see, being neutral removes the friction. It says, I'm okay now. The outcome doesn't control me. And that inner okayness is what allows things to move, my friends. And how I like to kind of explain kind of being neutral is you're okay either way. You understand what I'm saying? Like you're okay either, whatever outcome happens, you're okay either way. Like you kind of become unshakable. Okay. You have that knowing awareness inside you that source is within you. Okay. You just have faith and belief that everything's going to work out in your favor. So when everything's working out in your favor, you naturally just become neutral around everything. Okay. You don't have to lose your shit because something didn't go your way, because you know deep down another door is going to open. Another way is going to be shown to you that's even better than what stopped you. You understand, my friends? Listen to this. I'll tell you a little story real fast. This actually just happened to me yesterday. And yesterday, Ang and I, we drove up to Surin City. And February 3rd, I believe it's February 3rd, I have to leave Thailand because I have the DTV visa. It's a 5-year visa, but I got to leave every 6 months. Okay, I don't want to get into the nitty gritty details of it because this isn't a Thailand video. Okay, but to keep the matter simple, I got to leave. Okay, I got to at least leave and come back. It's a multiple entry, so it's easy to leave and come back. You know, I don't have to, meaning that I don't have to stay gone for a period of time. Okay. But at the same time, I had the intuition. Well, you know, that there's the big fight between Thailand and Cambodia. Right now, I'm in Surin. So Surin is about 1 hour away from the Cambodian border, exactly where they are fighting. So I can't just easily go down to the Cambodian border because that's closed off now, just because of the circumstances. So I thought, well, I had the intuition. Listen to this. I had the intuition. I said, well, maybe we can go up to Surin, the immigration up there, and maybe they will give me a one-time extension for my destination Thailand visa. That way I don't have to leave Thailand because of the fighting going on. I'm trying to be careful the words I use in this video because I don't know like what type of words will be flagged. So just kind of bear with me here. So that's why I'm kind of him-hauling around what words I want to use between Thailand and Cambodia and fighting. Okay, arguing back and forth. But anyway, I had the intuition to let's go up to immigration in Surin and see if they'll give me a extension. And I was all positive about it. I was like, I think they're going to do it. So yesterday we drive up to immigration. And even Ang was like, you know what? If they do it, they get the extension, you know, we'll stop by the mall, go celebrate, go eat pizza. She was craving pizza. So long story short, we drive all that way. We talk to immigration. I thought they're going to do it. They're asking for all my details. I brought everything with me. And right in the middle of it, they say no. That, oh, you got to leave. Go down to Laos, do a border one in Laos. You know, Laos is probably, 4 hours away, something like that, one way. So it's not really what I wanted to hear. You understand, my friends, you drive all this way, you have an intuition to do it, and you're thinking, oh, I'm following my intuition. And just to get an answer, no. Okay. And and at the same time, like, you're trying to explain with the Cambodia, Thailand thing going on, like maybe they'll do it, but they don't care either way. They're just like, oh, just go to Laos or go down to Bangkok and get on the plane. They just make it sound like it's no big deal. to leave the country. But that's what I mean is you got to remain neutral in those situations. Now, I didn't get the answer I wanted. Okay. And I conducted myself. I didn't lose my shit over it. I was polite and stuff like that. They were just doing their job. But then afterwards, I looked at Aang because it was about 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. in the morning. And I said, and I knew the pizza place probably just opened in the mall. So I said, well, let's go to the mall and have pizza. And she's like, well, really? Because you didn't, we were just gonna go there to celebrate. We're not really celebrating. That's Aang's mind. Because Aang's mind is like, because I told her before, well, if they're not gonna do this extension for me, I might just go home. You know what I mean? Might just go home for a little while, stuff like that. So in her mind, like she really wanted the immigration to do the extension, but she didn't want me to have the excuse of, well, I'm going to go home. Like, since I got to leave anyway, I might as well go home. You know what I mean? Go home for several months, visit family, whatever, stuff like that. Um, but it's just, it's just when you think about being neutral, like you're okay either way. You understand? You're not trying to figure out the how. You're not losing your shit over you didn't get the answer you were seeking. You're okay either way. Okay. And it's funny, like if I'm if I'm really just okay either way, if I'm really okay, if I gotta leave, I gotta leave. I'm okay with that. What ends up happening is when you're just truly okay, and I'm really pushing this, when you're just truly neutral in that state, it tends to kind of work itself out in your favor. It's funny how it does that. You understand, my friends? And I just wanted to share that with you. But there's something that I was kind of going through myself, and it's lots of times when we talk about this stuff, it's easier said than done most of the time. Okay, it's easy to say, Chad, I'm neutral when everything's going your way. But it's hard to be neutral when things are not going your way. You're not getting the right feedback. You understand? Things are going slower than you think they should. Okay, you're not getting the answers you really seek. You know what I mean? And when things seem to be not going your way, you have to be neutral. You have to be okay with it. Okay, like I'm saying, you have to be okay either way. It's like if you're trying to attract your SP, you're okay either way. You're okay if they dig you or they don't. You're okay either way. Okay, because when you're okay either way, you're not trying to force things to happen, and you end up sending off an energy that you don't need them, and that energy is kind of reversed, is like it's attractive. So then lots of times they end up being attracted to you because you're putting off that energy that you don't need them. You don't need someone else in your life, and that puts off that energy that they're attracted to you. You understand? Listen, the same thing happens in manifesting when you're trying to manifest your house, your dream car, money. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, it's not different just because you're trying to attract your SP. Okay, it's the same laws apply. It's the same. Okay, my friends? And I love this. Being neutral puts you back in the operant position. It puts you back, meaning that you are the operant power. Okay, if source is inside you and you truly believe source is inside you, you and God are one. I'm not talking about religion here. Okay, meaning like you are the operant power. Everything comes within you. Okay, when you truly believe that and you truly believe it to your core, it's going to be easy for you to be neutral in everything. It's going to be easy for you're okay either way, my friends. You're okay if you get the right feedback or you don't. You're okay if you get the right answer or you don't. Okay. And when you're neutral, you're no longer asking reality to validate you. Listen, you stop needing proof, watching for signs, looking for the how, looking out the window. Well, my dream car didn't happen today. You stop panicking about how it's going to happen. You understand? It's being neutral is you have so much confidence in what you say that you're okay with it. You're letting it unfold, my friends. Listen to this. I'll tell you another story that's true. And that's I've been kind of festering on lately is I made a decision that I wanted to move to Dubai. Okay. And, when you're neutral on that decision, when you're just firm in that decision, you're okay with that decision. Okay. You know that, okay, when I say I want to move to Dubai, okay, I'm planting the seed, but my job is I made a decision, let it go, let it be. Okay. Like I said, when we talk about being neutral, is you're okay either way. You're okay with however it unfolds, But you know it's going to unfold. You know 100% that I'm going to move to Dubai. You know it's going to happen. Okay. You just don't know the when and the how, and the exact how it's going to happen. You're neutral on everything. You're confident in, I made a decision. That's it. You don't care how it's going to happen. Okay. Because inside you have faith and belief that it is going to happen. But like I said, it's easier said than done. Because listen, like when I say I'm going to move to Dubai, all of a sudden it's so easy for my mind to drift into Howville. Okay. It's so easy for my conscious mind, my analytical mind that wants to plan everything out, plan all the obstacles. How is this going to happen? It's kind of funny, I can move to Dubai, but Aang, since Aang's Thai, now Aang can go to Dubai, but Aang will probably have to do what I do in Thailand, basically, get visas and probably jump back and forth, maybe stay in Dubai a little bit, then she'll have to come back to Thailand, file a new visa, come back. That's kind of the same thing what I do in Thailand. Okay. Now all of a sudden it's probably going to be a flip flop. Aang's probably going to do it. So it's easy for me to kind of think like, oh, well, how is it going to happen? It's going to cost more money, blah, 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 blah. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Then on top of it, I have 2 puppies now. So if I move to Dubai, no, my mind is like, okay, what do I have to do for the puppies to fly on the airplane to basically transport them to Dubai? Then on top of it, you start thinking about money again, because I don't have just 1 puppy, I have 2. So for one, I've never transported a dog on the airplane, but I do know 100% it's a human ticket. Whatever it costs me to fly to Dubai, it's going to cost the puppies. It's going to be 2 tickets. But you see how your mind will go down the gutter. Your mind will go trying to figure everything out. And lots of times you're either get anxiety over it, you have worry, doubt, and fear creep in. You start thinking, is this the right choice? Okay. But it really just goes back to manifesting 101 is what you want, you state what you want, and you let it go. You plant the seed and you let it germinate. Okay. You make the decision. And since we're on the topic of being neutral, you're okay either way. It's going to happen, but you're okay how it needs to unfold. You're okay with it. That's being neutral, my friends. And since we're really on the topic of manifesting, why things move faster when you're neutral. And this is the paradox. And this is what I love to share with you. The less you emotionally grab the things you want, your desires, your dream house, your dream car, money, your dream career, the less you emotionally grab to it, the faster reality reorganizes itself to bring it to you. Listen, because your nervous system relaxes, your behavior changes naturally, your choices come from clarity and not fear. You start acting like someone who expects life to respond. Listen to it this way. This is how we would really act being neutral. You have to think about things you have right now. Okay, wherever you live in an apartment, a condo, a house. Okay, it might not be your dream house, but wherever you live right now, you're neutral with it. You're not overthinking it. You're not waking up every day and seeing, hey, no, I woke up, I'm still in my apartment. You know what I mean? You have a car right now. Okay, it might not be your dream car, but you have a car right now that you drive back and forth to work in. Okay. You're neutral around it. You're not overthinking it. You're not thinking about your car every single day. You're just neutral. You hardly think about it. You're okay with it. Okay. You're okay either way. You understand? Like if you have a job, you have a job right now. Might not be your dream career, might not be your dream job, but you have a job, meaning you're neutral around it. You're okay either way. You understand? You're not overthinking it. You're not obsessing over it. Okay. You're just letting it be. And that's really the secret with manifesting. That's really the secret when you want these greater things in life. When you want your dream car, dream house, you want more money. The ultimate secret is you're neutral around everything. You're not giving positive or negative emotions around it because that's how you truly act in real life when you already have what you want. Okay, you got to think, you have to think like that. You have to start thinking, what do I have right now? And you start noticing that, dude, I hardly think about it. I hardly think about my car. Okay. And when I do think about it, I'm just grateful that I have a car. You understand? Like I don't have a car in Thailand. I have a motorbike in Thailand, but I have a car back in the States. Okay. I hardly think about it. You know what I mean? So, but when I do think about it, I'm just grateful that I have a car. I don't overthink about it, over obsess with it. Okay. You understand what I'm saying, my friends? And we really have to kind of talk about this is because neutral doesn't mean that I don't care. I can hear some of your brains tick out there. Okay. I know some of you like to debate. Some of you like to throw in like very severe circumstances just to disprove what we're talking about. Being neutral doesn't mean that you don't care. You don't care about life. You don't care about the outcomes. You know what I mean? You're just going through life like not a care in the world. Okay. I'm not talking that extreme. There is some truth to it, but I'm not talking that extreme. Okay. You understand? You see, being neutral is all about having that calm certainty, that quiet confidence, that internal authority, that emotional independence. And this is what kind of, if we go back to Neville Goddard, this is really what Neville Goddard meant when he talked about the Sabbath. Now, Neville Goddard, if you dig deep into Neville Goddard, besides just the stuff that everybody talks about, like living in the end, thinking as a wish fulfilled, stuff like that. But Neville Goddard really, really taught deep into esoteric Bible interpretation. If you really dig deep in his books, he goes deeper in this. If you listen to his live lectures, I have a playlist on my channel. This is actually Neville Goddard. This isn't AI. A lot of people are doing that now. They're basically doing the AI voice of Neville Goddard or Thomas Troward or Napoleon Hill, and they're writing this script, and it's like the AI voice of Neville Goddard, reading a script, but it's not his authentic teachings at all. Most of the time I listen to it, I can tell right away. That's not even how Neville Goddard talked. But everything we're going over, this is what Neville Goddard called the Sabbath, meaning the work is done. The seed is planted. You stop digging it up. Isn't it so true, my friend? The work is done. The seed is planted and you stop digging it up. Okay. Just like my example is when I say I want to move to Dubai, just for me saying it, the work is done. I planted the seed in Dubai. So when I plant the seed, I got to let it germinate. Okay. Stop digging it up. Stop looking for the how. Stop trying to figure it out. Your job is to only plant the seed. And at that point, you let that seed germinate. You let that seed grow. You let the roots grow. You let it sprout. Okay. You don't control the how around how a seed's going to grow. You don't control every aspect. You're really just neutral around it. You're okay either way. You don't care how long it takes to grow. You know it's going to grow. You understand? You don't care if it grows straight up to the left or the right. Okay. You're okay either way. That's being neutral. You're okay either way. You understand? I'm okay either way. However Dubai has to happen, it's going to happen, but I'm okay either way with it. Okay. I'm okay either way. If I go to Dubai, don't go to Dubai. Because when you're truly okay either way, 100% of the time, you get what you want because you don't have that resistance there. And I think that's the biggest thing to kind of wrap up this video with, is that no matter what you're going through in life, is you're unshakable to what's going on around you, my friends. Like, you realize that, if things are not going your way or as planned, that the power that you have is to be neutral around it. Like I said, you're okay either way with it. Okay. You're okay either way. No matter which way it shifts, it doesn't phase you. Okay. You don't lose your shit over things. Okay. It doesn't phase you because you have faith and belief. It's always gonna switch around in your favor. Okay. When one door closes, a better door opens. You have faith and belief in that. Okay. See, what happens is, and I said this in the beginning of the video, but what happens is when things don't go our way, there's so much negative emotion around it. And that negative emotion is reactive. We're reacting to everything that's going on in our life. And from us reacting to it, we're bringing emotion to it. And that negative emotion actually stops good things coming into our life. It actually stops what we want. It slows it down. Okay. And the one way to conquer this is, and like I said, it's easier said than done. This takes work. This isn't a 24-hour manifesting technique. This takes real work. And the reason why it's hard is because when you do go through negative shit, when you do not get the answers that you really want, okay? Just like with me with Thailand situation yesterday, is you're okay with it. You're neutral around it. You're okay. Okay. You don't need to figure it out. You're okay. You know that, hey, I don't want to leave right now. So I'm planning on going home in June, visit family in June, but it's summer. That's what I'm going to do. And everything else will work around that. You're neutral to it. You're pretty much, people explain this different ways, but when negative things happen, you ignore it. Okay. Yes, you can't ignore everything. You have to deal with it. Like if I get a flat tire in my car, I got to go out and deal with it, but I'm neutral around it. I deal with it and I move around it and move on with my life. I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it to 20 of my coworkers. I don't come back home and talk about it to 5 of my friends. I don't tell my significant other how much this flat tire cost me and how it's going to set me back for the month. You know what I mean? I don't go hang out with my family, and that's why I talk about. Okay, that's why things keep on looping in your life, because you're bringing such emotion to it. You're hanging on to it. You constantly tell stories around it to your family, friends, coworkers, and then you wonder why similar things keep on happening. Like I said, we got to handle things. We got to do things. We got to handle things we don't want to handle. Okay. But you handle it. You're neutral around it. You're not bringing emotion to it. You're just letting it be. I got to handle it. Someone crosses my standards or boundaries. Well, I got to stand up for my standards or boundaries. I got to confront them, but I can be neutral around it. I don't need to lose my shit all over it. I'll be neutral, say what needs to be said, then move on from it and never talk about it again. Don't bring energy to it. Okay. That's how you have to train yourself, my friends. Okay. Because listen, like I said, when we wrap up this video, is our power is in being neutral, my friends. That's our true power. Like, you're not phased. It doesn't phase you. Okay. Because you have faith and belief everything's going to work out. I'll share with you one more story. I wanted to share this. I actually forgot to share this with you in the video. I wanted to share this in the video, not in the end of the video, but I think this would be an excellent story to sum this up. Either we are guilty of this, but 100% we've witnessed this with our eyes. Have you ever watched two people argue? Maybe it's you. Okay. You can think back. Okay. Maybe you're one of them. Okay. But 100% we witnessed two people arguing, and we've also witnessed one of the people that's in that argument is very calm, very neutral, They're not letting it affect them. Okay. And isn't it amazing when somebody is super calm in an argument, the other person's losing their shit, losing their mind, basically is flipping out, and that person ends up getting more angry and more mad, and they're more flipping out because the other person isn't responding to them. Or maybe I said that backwards. The other person isn't reacting to them. Okay, the other person is remaining super calm. And when you're super calm, you're in a power stance, my friends. You're more powerful in that situation because when you're just calm, you can see clearly. You understand, okay? This is like the core example here is when we flip that into manifesting, that's exactly, it works exactly the same way. It's just a different metaphor. Okay, when you're just super calm, when things don't go your way, sorry about that, you're okay either way, how it's going to work out. You're in a power stance of calling the shots. You're in the power stance where things are going to be attracted to you, but it's not phasing you because you don't need. So another way to put this is when you're not reacting to it, you don't need it. You understand? Because you know you already have it. You know it's coming to you. So you don't need it. You're not giving off this needy energy. And it's amazing. Amazing things happen from this because things start just working out. Okay. It works out in your favor. It might work out differently than what you expected, but this is what I mean. You let it happen that way because you have faith and belief in that way. It might not happen exactly how Chad wants it to happen, but I do know it's going to happen. Okay. And then probably all of us, myself included, I've been on that side of arguments where I'm losing my shit. I'm having a mental breakdown. I'm flipping out. You know what I mean? And, I can 100% testify when that's happening is, 100% I'm not calm. 100% I create so much friction and emotion around it. Everything starts repelling from me. You understand, my friends? So it's the same metaphor. Is in that situation, when we're neutral, 100% neutral, we have the power. The source is inside us. We have the power. Nothing is phasing us because we know we're going to be okay either way, my friends. But other than that, tribe, I know this was long-winded. Wanted to share that with you. And just some of the thoughts I've been kind of thinking about lately that things come up and I go through, wanting to share them with you. And, I know, it helps me out. Sometimes it helps me out doing this video. Sometimes I do this videos for myself. I know it's going to help other people, but sometimes it's good for me to kind of re-go over this information because it aligns. Sometimes every time I go over information, even though I'm talking about it, is, I look at it a different way. I look at it deeper than what I looked at it before. Okay. Or maybe I just go through a circumstance that happened and the whole meaning, the whole concept of being neutral in all aspects of your life, it brings in a deeper meaning. I really see how it kind of unfolds in your life for the positive. Okay, my friends. Okay, tribe. But anyway, remember, I love you guys. Comment below. I love to hear your feedback on this. Remember, if you want to get in touch with me, jump in the description. That's where all the nuggets are. Check out the 30-day challenge. And other than that, remember, I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.